thumped, bulls and beauties. It's the greatest show on dirt. The North American Championship Rodeo with discount kids ticket pricing all 3 nights.
This is a treat for me. I'm sure most of you are not aware. I used to work at the IFWater in Sellersburg. I was the executive dean there for 4 years and just always enjoyed coming back to Southern Indiana and Louisville. I've been in the IFWater system for 26 years and I've got to do a lot of different things, but have never been so excited as the opportunity that we have today with WaterStep and how we're moving forward with this significant partnership. On behalf of the faculty and staff of IFWater, we're just excited to be here. We're excited with what Mark Hogg has done and his team, and I'm just so impressed by their efforts. WaterStep is a world-class organization with a world-class mission, and they are really gaining ground. And I want to recognize them. I know they've been recognized once today, but Mark, would you and your team stand, and let's give them a hand. Stand up. And thank you for this day and for this opportunity. Just a little bit about IFWater. We are located in Sellersburg, as you know. That's a campus of about 5,000 students. IFWater is a statewide community college system. We have about 175,000 students a year. We're the largest singly accredited community college in the nation. A big part of our growth has been attributed to online education, which is something that I've worked with for years within the college. I've worked in several of our geographic regions, but started online education at Terre Haute back in 1997, since growing to about 80,000 students a year. So we have a lot of ability and capacity to do online education, and that is really how WaterStep and IFWater got together. And I understand we have some IFWater students and faculty here. Will they please stand and be recognized? And thanks for making the effort to come down here today. Well, you can see the WaterStep vision up on the screen, but WaterStep is about empowering individuals to assist communities with sustainable water solutions. And Mark, I hope I got that right. But the more I study your vision, the more powerful I realize that it is. And what IFWater hopes to bring, as we provide a lot of online training and education in the state of Indiana. We're starting to reach outside the state now, and we're starting at looking global opportunities, and we see WaterStep as a big opportunity for us. You can see the partner roles. WaterStep, of course, they are the heart and soul of this. They have the technologies, the tools, the equipment, the content, the training and education available, and basically we're looking to utilize the content and expertise they have and to put it in an online modality. And they have a lot of existing content, and they have a great curricula, and we're going to be showing you, or Lacie's going to be showing you just a minute, one example of how we're moving some of these courses into online content. How many of you have used the learning management system? Oh, not too many. Okay, you don't really do anything on online in the online world without a learning management system. We use a product called Blackboard. We use it in all of our online courses. We also now use it in all of our face-to-face courses because of all the features this particular piece of software has. At any given time, we have about 200,000 users in Blackboard. And it has several features, including the ability, and remember the story Mark told this morning about the folks carrying the hog in and then pulling out one of these? Blackboard provides the ability to deliver content over one of these. So you can see the tremendous advantage that presents. Okay, and where we are to date, we've developed a memorandum of understanding with Water Step, the health and hygiene course is developed. You can see the other courses that we plan to develop. But I want to get Lacie up here because Lacie has done a fantastic job in putting all of this together. And she's really the expert here. She's an instructional designer. She's been with the college for 12 years. She has a degree in nursing. She's been the online technology coordinator for 2 years now. And she is definitely a rising star in the Ivy Tech system. So please join me in welcoming her. Lacie?
Thank you. You never know where you're going to go. Like when you're going to college and you kind of like try and make that decision on who you want to be when you grow up and you're 17. Never in my life, as I was getting ready for my auditions for music school at Ball State, did I think that I would end up here. I actually started out life as a band director, and that's really where I fell into online education because I had students who came to me and said, we want to take music theory. I said, I don't have room to teach music theory. They said, yeah, but we got these computers in the library. So back in the late 90s, I developed my first online course and delivered online music theory through my hometown AOL account that I uploaded to every night. And my students took that in the library while I was teaching 8th grade band, actually. So all of that kind of spiraled out of control over the next few years. And next thing I know, I'm applying to Ivy Tech to become a nursing student. And I've been where you ladies are, and I know what that's like, and it's survivable. And I just recently concluded 10 years of nursing, which made this a perfect storm for me when I got to find out and learn about Water Step and realize just how tightly engrossed this was going to be for me. It really all started with a phone call from one of my colleagues up in Indianapolis who was supposed to go to the meeting. And Robbie called me and said, hey, Lacie, I can't make it. Can you go? Be careful what you say yes to, because now I'm here. Had no idea what a blessing it would be. And if you just have not spent any time with the folks at Water Step, you just cannot understand just how amazing they are, the work that they do, the passion that they have, and their desire to share this with as many people as possible. And that's what brought us to the table. What can we do? So the first thing that we've done is we have developed their health and hygiene content into an online deliverable format. Online education, some people love it, some people hate it, some people just haven't even thought about it yet. But the thing about online is you can't just say, here's my PowerPoint presentations, here's my class notes, there you go, it's now on the computer. Good luck with that. You have to be able to engage people and to get them involved and somehow get that content in a manner in which they're going to interact and learn from. So after that November meeting, I went back to my office and I was like, okay, you said yes, this was possible. Now look what you've gotten yourself into. You've got to figure this out. So the first thing I did was I asked, can I come to one of your trainings? And so on an early Friday morning in December, I sat in a very cold black warehouse room at Water Step and learned about how they delivered their health and hygiene program. And in 3 hours, that amazing team delivered an incredible amount of information. And then I was really stumped. How was I going to not just deliver the content, but how was I going to engage people to want to go through this on their own? And I knew that it was going to require that I worked intimately with the ladies on the health and hygiene team. And I have been very fortunate to find my long lost sister in Pam, wherever Pam is out there. Pam, are you around? She's hiding from us. Pam has been my main contact with the health and hygiene team, and she's also a nurse, and so it's been really wonderful to work with her. So we're now in a position where the content is in, and we worked very extensively with that team to do some videotaping. We did some videotaping on campus so that we could provide examples of how they deliver that content and share that in their classroom. I knew that it wasn't going to be enough for me to just put the information out there. It's not very easy to tell someone how to teach, especially if you're not someone who's taught a lot. I was looking at the potential of high school kids using this content, church groups, business people, people who may not have a background in teaching, but had a passion for helping people, saving lives, and how was I going to help them integrate this content and take it out into the field. And really the way that we decided that that would probably work best is we added some excellent examples using the water step people themselves. They came in and they taught some lessons at Ivy Tech, and we had those professionally videoed, and those have been added to the course. So we get everything pulled together, and now we have to decide whether or not it's going to work. I've only ever designed content for people who live in the United States. I've only designed content for people who speak English. And I would venture a guess that most instructional designers out there are in that same position. So we needed to be able to take this out into the field and experience it and find out, is this something that someone who doesn't necessarily have English as their first language, would they be able to relate to the content? Is this something that even someone who English may be their first language, is it engaging enough, and does it provide them with enough feedback on what they're learning to be able to turn around and take it back out into the field themselves? So WaterStep was doing a project in Panama this summer, and so this content was taken out there. And of the 100 centers out in Panama, approximately 40 of them had internet access so that they could access the content. It was available via the mobile application as well, but they took it out on the computers for the most part, and then I got the feedback on that. The feedback was we were on the right track, needed to do a few things more, kind of jazz it up a little bit more to make it so that they really could fully integrate this content. But overwhelmingly, the results were that they did feel like they got enough that they could share this. And that was really important. So now I'm at the point where I just need to go back through, make some edits, fix my spelling errors, add a couple commas, and bring in a little bit more engaging content so that we can roll this out full scale. The reason that we chose to use Blackboard is because Blackboard is so big. Obviously, Ivy Tech is very large, as Dr. Pittman said. We have quite a bit of outreach. We also have a lot of experience with online. We use Blackboard because it is mobile. If you have a smartphone, if you have a tablet, if you can get a signal, you can get our content. And that was very important, because when you're looking at a learning management system, you want to make sure that this is something that everyone's going to be able to have access to, no matter where they are. And that was something that Blackboard did afford for us. And we use managed hosting, which means that we don't take care of our own computer servers. We let Blackboard take care of that. That's really nice because they can fix the problem far faster than we can. So the students may not always agree that we're up a lot, but we're up pretty much. We have our moments. And so it's been a very reliable source of content for us. They're quite large. Blackboard has over 9,300 clients, and they are represented in 172 countries. I counted them. It was amazing how many there were. And so they have quite a global outreach where we know that their content can be accessed. So that was very important. We knew that no matter where these people were going, they would be able to access the content. Even if someone is training and taking the class here in the United States, and they're going to leave to go to a foreign country, maybe they're going to go to India, the nice thing about the way that we have our content delivered for them is all the handouts, all the lesson plans, all the videos can be accessed on their phone. And so they can download those at any time and use them and keep them as a resource, and it's available to them. Even if they're going to lose signal, they can download content to their device so they'll have it when they go out into the field. So this is a little bit hard to see, obviously, because it's small. I didn't want to rely on Wi-Fi. I've presented enough to know that just as soon as you trust the Wi-Fi system, it will not work for you. So I just pulled some screenshots for you. This is the home page of the course. Very simple. We pared it down. We pared it down on purpose. We wanted this to be something that anyone, even if they didn't have experience with an online course, would feel comfortable coming into. You're greeted with an announcement and a quick explanation of what those buttons are for. And then it's right on to work. It tells you that the course is divided into lessons, and so then you can go right into them from there. We designed the lessons right along the framework that was provided to us by WaterStep. It was very important to the WaterStep Health and Hygiene Committee that the content be presented in a specific manner, that it be presented in a specific sequence. And so I followed right along with their recommendations. They're the ones that knew how this worked. They're the ones that had been making it work for years. So it starts out with this introduction to health and hygiene and safe water. And what's really neat about that is it grabs the students. It's the crux of why you take the course. And going into it, the very first thing you're met with is information about why this is important. When you read that 1.5 million children a year die from diarrhea, you think, wow, that's really bad. That's an awful statistic. But then when you continue to read and you realize that that's 2.8, almost 3 children per minute, that means that in the amount of time that Dr. Pittman and I are up here, 2 full American classrooms of children would have died from diarrhea. That is information that I want the students who are taking this course to look at that and internalize that and say, I've got to do something about this. And so that's how we've presented this material. We don't throw a lot of statistics out there, but we do put the statistics out there in a way that students can understand. This is a problem, and I can do something about it. I can help, and that's what we want them to have. Anybody out there that's an instructor knows that the first thing you want to do when you're working with your students is tell them what they need to know. So you're going to tell them what you're going to teach them, you're going to tell them how you're going to teach them, and then by golly, you go through and teach them. And that's exactly the way the course is set up. So when a student logs into this course, they're met with information overview for that particular section that tells them this is why this content is important to you, it's important to the people that you're going to teach, and how it's going to help you. And then we tell you, these are the objectives. When you're done with this is what we want you to know. And that way they know that if they didn't get something, they can go back to it. And then from there, we set them into a lot of different opportunities. There are internet links, there are folders of materials, there are videos, everything is kept up to date. There are things for them to print that they can take with them or to download to their machines. Here's the hand washing video that was produced on campus at Ivy Tech this last February. How many people here think they do a good job washing their hands? Okay. How many of the nursing students over there realized after the first day of class, you didn't know anything about washing your hands? Yeah, pretty much. It was amazing. You'd be surprised how many of you don't know how to wash your hands. I suggest you watch the video because I promise you, there is a part of your hands that you probably miss. Most of us do. And this video, it shows you how to do this yourself as well as how to teach it. And then there's additional lesson plans and activities, because one of the things that the Water Step team has found is if you reach the children, you'll reach the mothers. And if you reach the women, they'll take care of reaching the men. It has been a challenge in some areas for the Water Step educators to go out and teach in a community, because there are communities where the women don't teach the men. It would not be appropriate for an American woman to come over and to be the one who is teaching. So they reach out to the kids, they reach out to the women, and then we know then from there the health of the community can be taken care of. So these are some of the things that we show and some of the things that they teach through this course. Of course, no class would be complete unless we tested you, right? Everybody is so excited about having a test. With this class, we wanted it to be very accessible. We wanted it to be non-threatening. So every section has a study guide, a self-paced study guide that they can download and work on their own. And as they're working on it, they can fill in the blanks, they can answer the questions, and they can also then open up the answers. We weren't looking for testing. We weren't looking for failing. We were looking for what tools can we put in place to make students successful so that they feel good and confident going out into the field. Then after they go through that, there is an opportunity for them to take a test. It's online, it's through Blackboard. They can take it as many times as they want, but it asks questions over the key objectives, making sure that they can then say to themselves, yes, I got this. Or, gosh, I'm short somewhere. I didn't understand something. And the nice thing is there's a button in there where if they really didn't get it and they can't find where to get it, they can email Pam and Pam can help them with it. So even though it's not an instructor-led situation, there is someone on the other end of an email who can answer them within just a few hours to a couple of days. There's even a place where students can keep track of their scores. So someone who is very motivated by something like scores and test results, they can keep track of them. It's all right there and it's visible to them. So that's how we kind of structured it. We wanted to make sure that we presented it in an engaging manner. We used lots of video. The health and hygiene team has put together a ton of multimedia for this. It's been wonderful. Got a couple more suggestions that came out of the beta testing that we'll need to look at. But for the most part, I think we're about ready to launch this thing live real soon. I know it. And honestly, our side of it was we provided the infrastructure and we provided the way to get it organized. But that health and hygiene team, they have been the absolute heart and soul of this whole thing. And I really do appreciate all of their work. I have about I'm down to about a half an inch a page of edits right now on things where they went through and we cleaned some things up. And so now that we've got the results of the beta testing, we're gonna take it out and it'll be ready for everyone.